Very distracted.
Hey. No look. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Film Hustlers.
What's with the low energy, Roberts? You got to bring this shit.
Hey, have another drink. Red Bull.
No, you know what? The
welcome to
Seagram
Film
7 that I got as a
Hustlers,
gift,
guys.
the Seagram 7 that I got as a gift is bringing me down a little bit.
That's like 70s shit right there.
Have you
See,
guys
who
ever had?
drinks
Have you ever
Seagram 7?
had? Let's.
Yeah, when I was 14, when I had to sneak it from my parents' thing, I'm not going to go out and buy that.
I think it's very cheap too. It's not super expensive, right?
Yeah,
Why don't you introduce Manny so that we can get Manny on the show right away?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce my good friend, founder of Suspect Entertainment and Suspect the series, Mr. Manny Jimenez. Hey,
Thank you,
was that a good intro?
That was a great.
Was that too serious?
No,
That was amazing.
It was great.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hey Manny, welcome to the show, man. You're a film hustler.
thank you.
This is an actual film
He's a
hustler.
legit film
It's a
hustler.
legit film hustler right here.
Manny and I we'll text each other, funny memes and stuff like that. But then we get in some good text messages about like motivation and inspiration, and we inspire each other. And Manny's story is super, super compelling. It's one of my favorite. In fact, he just did the Suspect the series where Dave and I had little parts in. We
I can't
talked
believe
about
that. I can't believe you guys got parts and I didn't get a part.
You don't want a part, fool. What are you talking about?
I didn't know you would have been one of the.
I could have been one of the
actually,
producers.
You know who I played? The producer.
See, I could have been the producer. That's Davey Dave. I'm a good actor.
Hey, you are a good actor.
There you go.
Hey,
But I told
don't sell
Manny-
yourself short ever again.
He remember he was.
Hey, this could be your big break.
I
buddy.
tried to get him in Made in Mexico, and he didn't want to do
I
it.
would've been
and
great.
actually,
I
John
would've been great.
Fitzgerald paid.
He did a good job playing me.
He did good. He even used your house.
You
But
look like you.
Hey, but Manny, have you heard the show at all?
Yes.
All right. So, we changed our name recently, and we are making our own movie, just like you. We're making our own movie. Teddy's going to write it, and he's going to direct it. Dave and I are going to produce it. I think
right.
Dave's going to be in it. Not sure. We'll see what happens.
Let's see what's up.
I don't know how many.
We gotta
characters.
get him apart. We
Every
gotta
time,
find
every
some.
time we have a conversation about it, I cut characters.
you do.
Next thing you know, there's only going to be 2 characters in the whole thing.
One's going to be a ghost.
You're
It'll
still
be a
going to be a
flashback.
film student watching the
Yeah,
actors.
but to cover where we've been is that we got about a third of the script done. We've been talking about like nuances to the characters that could help drive the third act.
Yep.
And we sort of discussed it today, but we don't want to reveal it until it's written.
Right.
So we're gonna talk to Manny on the show, and then the next show we're going to probably read the full script, maybe the full script, and then we'll start making notes.
We will.
We'll start making notes on the script and start whittling it down to what it's going to be.
Yep.
And hopefully by Christmas we're going to be making a movie.
I say before that.
Oh, nice.
That'd be,
Maybe before that, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Hey, so
need some muscle, I'll go, man.
oh,
I don't
thanks,
need credit or
dude.
nothing, just go.
Thank
Come
you,
on,
dude.
Manny.
That's
Of
what's up.
course.
I'll give
Get
back
in
just
there.
water. I'm down. I'm in.
Hey, so give me a brief history of what you were doing when you were a kid. Were you born here in LA?
Born in LA.
All right, so give me a story about what was going on with you.
Born in
your
Huntington
life.
Park.
Yeah, what was
I
happening?
was
What was
born in-
happening?
TV.
From the
That's it.
beginning, you
From
were
the
involved with
beginning.
TV?
No, watching. Yeah,
Oh,
watching.
watching
TV,
Oh,
fool.
me too. I was
Yeah.
watching TV.
You're like
Saturday morning cartoons. And
That
shit.
all the everything, but Happy Days, Dukes of Hazzard, Laverne and Shirley, Mark and Me. I mean, I knew back then what spin-offs were and all that. I did, Grease, Back to the Future, Outsiders. Just
Outsiders.
My mom just loved all. She loved the Oscars and Jack Nicholson and Elvis, and she was just like a huge fan of that. And so I knew that, and then the old school George Reeves Superman and Batman, and then I remember we lived in this apartments in Linwood where all of our family lived, and everybody would share cable. Remember that?
Oh, really?
Yeah. Nice.
And I would run around.
Dude, I did that.
Yeah.
I did that. Like when I moved to the back room, the garage, and I built like a little place to live, and I had to have the split
Splitter.
connector.
Yeah. But ours was this top apartment, so I don't even know how they were like throwing it across real high, you know?
Damn.
They were like really dedicated to get it done. I remember being young, but my mom thought I was gonna jump out because we lived in the top apartment. She thought I was gonna jump out the window. They're always worried about because I was all into pillowcase running around like Superman. But I just love that so much, and so I learned about that. I learned about there's a lot of parties, a lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol. I didn't know see the drug use. As I got older, I connected it.
Yeah.
But as a kid, you just see it. My stepdad's birthday was on New Year's Eve, so every freaking New Year's, and then we had to clean the confetti the next day.
Hey, why is my Theo always in the bathroom with all his friends? What's that? I always did. I used to
you
wonder.
start connecting.
Yeah, you're
You're
like,
older, you know?
Why they always blowing their nose?
Hey,
Yeah.
pásala.
Yeah, so they had all these crazy parties, and then my dad left. My dad beat my mom up. I seen a lot of that trauma, and then but I still never. For some reason, I never hated my dad.
Yeah.
And then my stepdad came in, and I hated my stepdad.
Yeah.
But I took out all the hurt on my
Yeah.
I took out the anger on my stepdad.
But he was a good dude.
He was a good dude.
He was a good dude.
He was a
That's
good dude. Very good guy.
But what inspired you? Like, what was the first step you took towards film and television? Like, what's the first thing you did?
I mean, that love for cinema and television just stayed in my heart.
Yeah.
And then as I grew into the gang world, that even stayed in my heart then. Let me tell you this funny story. In Whittier, they filmed at Whittier High School. They filmed Back to the Future.
Oh, yeah?
Right?
Is that right?
So my
Yeah.
cousins tell me, "Oh, I met my cousins still to this day. They have pictures with Michael J. Fox, and he's a kid, but now he's a grown ass man, you know."
Yeah.
But remember, so hey, they're filming part 2. So I go on there, and I'm like, gang banged out, right? And I'm going and I'm watching. It's the scene where they're doing the drive-by. And it's part 2.
Yeah.
And and he goes, "Get out of here, sticklers!" And he shoots them, the
Yeah.
principal. So I'm watching it. I'm seeing all the cars and everything. But I'm like, it's right there. But I'm like, man, you can't even tell the homies you want to make movies.
Yeah.
You'll be, you're corny. Get out of here. And I'm watching. I'm like, oh my God, I would love to do this. And never in a million years I thought that I can.
Yeah.
But so we're still hopeful. So when no more homeboys, nothing. It was just me and my girl, no driver's license. Like the script, remember?
Yeah.
No, I'm short.
Yeah.
Gangbanger Mexican, no driver's license, no job, no money, no bank account, like zero. I was at the lowest that I've ever been, and I was like, man, what am I gonna do with my life? And then when I watched that, and Tarantino said like anybody could be in a jail or something,
Yeah.
you could come to Hollywood. I was like, babe, you gotta drive me to Hollywood, just like the script, man.
Yeah.
You gotta drive me to Hollywood. And then I get a connection to Central Casting. My first extra gig was at Universal Studios, so it's like it's
Oh, was it
incredible.
really?
It's
That's
crazy.
awesome.
But what
Yeah.
did the judge tell you when you beat that case? How did that go down?
He looked at me and said, the judge pretty much said, Mr. Jimenez, I can't hold you off my hunch, but so case dismissed, because I have a hunch you were there, but I can't hold you off my hunch.
So you had this complicated childhood and upbringing, and you had these dreams of potentially being in film and television and telling stories. You became a gangbanger. You got yourself in trouble, but you ended with no friends and kind of nothing to your name, right?
Yes.
But then came a transformation, right? Then came opportunity. What was that?
And I was like, I'm gotta figure. I try to just get a job. I try to, remember in Superman, the old one, where he loses his powers and he just Clark Kent regular guy. I was like, that was just me regular trying to get a job.
So you went to Central Casting.
Well, I went to Toys R Us and I got rejected about a job. So I went to Toys R Us, and then I would watch TV. I just didn't think about what I want to do. I didn't want to go to the military because I don't like waking up early. That's the truth. I didn't want to go back to school and all that. I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I would watch Jay Leno every night. And that was like my thing. And things that Robert Duvall had said, things that Will Smith said, things that Tarantino said were just hitting my heart. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh man, I gotta. And then I started thinking about, it was like a mental montage, the visiting the Back to the Future set, watching TV shows, growing up as a kid, like, man, I should try to do this. But then I said, oh man, they're gonna ask me about my background check and all that. And that's when Tarantino said, it doesn't matter about if you've been in jail. I said, I gotta try.
Dude, it's
And
probably something that should be on your resume.
Yeah, for sure.
I was thinking about this today, Manny. I was thinking about, the things that happen to us in our lives, the things that make us step up are sometimes stress related. Sometimes are
100%.
life-changing moments in your life that make you step up and do better things with your life. But also the full moon was yesterday and the night before. Did you notice?
No.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the trippy thing. Like I'm looking at I take my wife and we go like for a walk and we're looking at
Take it easy.
We're looking at the moon. And I'm thinking, like there's so much we don't know about our minds and about the capabilities we have, right? Because you don't know why you succeed. You can't pull like Pacino and be like, what was your road? I'm going to take that same road.
Yeah, 100%.
You can't do, Tarantino, I'm going to take your road because, right? But there's like this we're like in this universe, right, where we're hanging in the middle of this crazy universe, and we don't know anything about each other, but we're all like angry and pissed about Trump and pissed about politics. This isn't a political show, but I'm just saying we're into this minutia, when what we really should be doing is thinking about, how do I expand my mind to do bigger things in my life? And the only way to do that is to get rid of all that minutia that's in your head, right, and create a bigger possibility, which is what you're talking about. Something happened to you, and your mind changed. The chemicals in your system changed.
Absolutely.
And you changed your life. And not only that, you got into something that you never thought you could be part of. So how does that happen?
Exactly what you said. It's like, man, I mean, I know I'm not going back to that ever. That was done. I'm not going to do crime. You know, I still had like this hustle, and I had these little street ways, but I just like, I had to do it. Like it is a do or die. It is a sink or swim. You know what I mean? It's like, I have to do
But your
this.
mind changes. You create like your road in your head, and then you start taking that road, and your life changes, you know, and you take bigger chances, and your chances get
and
bigger.
It changed the whole course. Changed my son's life.
Yeah.
He would have had a stepdad, and who knows what kind of life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So being there with him, and he went through some rough stuff where I we went through some rough stuff together, my son and I, and we're the closest we've ever been. Like he thought hurting himself, you know what I mean? Like he really went through some stuff where like he needed a dad.
Yeah.
And the only thing I knew was, I'm going to be, to all three of my kids, the only thing that I knew was, I'm going to be the dad that I always wanted.
Yeah.
That's all I had.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Cherry picked some things from my stepdad. Cherry picked some things from my mom for gut instincts. She taught me about that at a young kid. Cinema and television, and helping people.
Yeah.
She would be driving people around, lending people money, letting all kinds of people sleep in her house. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Helping people out, man. So what was your first thing? What was the first thing you did?
My next move, remember, I didn't know how to use a computer. We had no texting back then, nothing. I'm just like, all I did know was, again, my mom as a kid drove us around Hollywood and downtown, and we would see the big white trucks. I found the old VHS video of her filming, saying, oh my God, look, they're filming a movie.
Yeah.
And like, they're filming a movie is like a thing that we say now.
Yeah.
And I still get excited about it. We see the big trucks. Oh, they're filming a movie, you know? So I remember that, and I'm like, babe, we're going to, dude, it's right out the script. I'm like, babe, we're going to Hollywood. I'm like, what? Like, we're downtown LA, Hollywood. We're going to just drive around, and you're going to drive around, drop me off. Yeah, find the trucks. You drop me off, and you're going to drive around, and I'm going to run in. And I kept getting rejected, getting crapped on. And I finally walked all the way on set somehow, and I seen all the big old catering. And I'm like, oh my God, I was like a little kid. Like, and I meet some guy. It says, I go, hey, bro, how do you get in? He goes, the white dude with dreadlocks. And he goes, oh, I don't know, bro. I'm just an extra. I go, I'm down to be an extra. What's up? And he gave me the number to Central Casting. I went home and called, and my girl's driving around still. You know, they're down. I'm here. I got the number. I go home, call, and they're like, union or non-union? No, first I hung up. They're all Central Casting, and I hung up because I got scared or nervous. And I'm like, what the heck? And then I called back. They go, union or non-union? I go, I don't know. They're like, okay, you're non-union. And then I got the call. And it was Central Casting back then. I was like, you have to listen to these long recordings, and it was a pain in the butt. But finally, they're like, we need all ages, all races, everything. And then I got in. It was like $40. After taxes, like $30. You know what I mean? And it was I was at Universal Studios. I remember walking in, coming on set, and I swear that moment, I was like, I'm gonna do this the rest of my life. Yeah. And I started looking around. I'm like, I gotta learn how to write a script. It all starts with the script from back then.
So your first thing was being an extra. It is the only business that you can come in and like literally, minus killing someone, you can work in this business and people don't care as long as you're creative, because like if you think about it, like I was yeah, that's right. You have to show up and you have to be willing to wait around forever. But whatever you want, as long as you look right, you can have the job.
Show up, look right, good attitude. I mean, look at Robert Downey Jr. I mean, he was a star, but in and out of drugs. Yeah. Trejo in prison for long stretches came
but
out.
Nice guys.
And they look right, dude. Trejo can. If you think about Desperado, which is where he showed up, I don't have to say anything. Like we were talking creatively about what people should say.
Though.
I don't know if it was or not, but I'm just saying, like we were talking earlier about like what a character should say or not say. Trejo walks down the street, you know exactly. Yeah. What he's there to do, who he's going to do, and you know he's good at it. Yeah. And that's the other thing is that you look at him and you're like, oh yeah. He's
my personal favorite Trejo performance is Heat. You know,
dude,
that is my favorite.
Yeah, He was really good in that. And that was an all-star cast.
And
around
he
him.
didn't have any lines.
No, he did. He had some lines.
But I know what you mean. It was,
Did he?
it was,
Yeah.
it was subtle.
What'd
It
he
wasn't
say?
like big old monologues.
What did he say?
De Niro. He had a few lines, but I remember the.
Five and he was
Yeah,
five
it was.
and under.
De Niro goes in. Well, never mind. We're going off there. So Manny. So
Back to Manny.
yeah. So you get because I
We
love
can
your
get
story.
into ourselves for another hour.
it's
but-
fine.
Yeah, he's gonna cut a lot of this shit up. But let's. So you get this your first gig here at Universal, and then where do you go from there?
You know, I just knew I wanted to do this, and then I just felt like, oh my god, like I was still lonely, a lonely ride, because there was no Suspect Entertainment, no Homeboy Industries that I knew of. I was still just getting kicked around like a pinball machine. You know what I mean? Like, how do I do this? There was no programs, no nothing.
And
There
you're
was
probably
no-
stereotyped, right? Because you're a little gangbanger. So they're like, get
yeah,
this guy.
and I'm
He's-
trying to dress up like I'm going to court, you know what I mean? And they're like, oh, bring a
I love
gangbanger.
that.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, bring a gang. Oh, I bring all this stuff out. But it was still like, one of the things I knew, I still had anger issues and stuff. Because like when I worked at Toys R Us, I remember I almost beat up some kid. He was going to jack the Sony's PlayStations back then. And he goes, hey, I'm going to jack. I go, listen, don't take them while I'm here. And he goes, no, I'm going to take them. It's fine. I go, listen. And I say, Mom, I'm all
Did he work there?
I worked there in
No,
the
but
back.
did he
with
work
them.
there? Oh,
Yeah,
he worked there
too.
Got it, yeah.
I said, hey, and I cussed him out. I say, I'm gonna fuck you up if you do it while I'm here. They're gonna blame me. I got a record. You don't. He was a little clean cut kid, and he's like, oh, all right. I had to kind of get out of character and get street on him, and then. And I that would happen a lot, and even when I got, I go, oh, but I don't want to get kicked out. I want to be good. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And then someone said, "Hey, can you help me?" And you were like, "Yes, excuse me, sure. Be happy to." And all of a sudden, you're a
yeah, I was
completely
trying to
different
be always
person.
on my best behavior. I mean, look at I had about like 2 fights in the last 25 years. One was, I hate to put my brother-in-law out there, but he drove my kid drunk.
Yeah.
In the early days, and I went off on it with my brother when my mom died and stuff like that. But other than that, I'm saying I never let. Got in a fight or broke somebody's windows or did any of that chaos. I never let my anger get the best of me.
The last 25 years.
In the last 25 years.
Yeah.
Hey, it gets the best of them. Look at Will Smith.
Yeah.
I don't think that had anything to do with.
That was his wife pushing his.
That was
button.
his vieja.
Yeah, we all knew that. Everybody watched that. Saw that was.
Yeah, but he's not forgiven. Just FYI,
No,
he's not
no, he's
forgiven.
not.
But certainly, like there was a pent up anger there.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So now we've come full circle with you. You came from like an incredible low in your life, being practically going to prison for something you didn't do, and the miracle happened. And then you somehow found Central Casting, and you found yourself closer to your dream, right? Because now you're in it, right? You're close to it.
Yeah, well, shit.
Proximity
Looking
is-
back, that was their dream, just to be part of it.
Yeah, proximity is an important part of it, So now we go fast forward to now. You just shot your own pilot.
Yes, a pilot pitch.
It's a
20
pilot
page-
pitch for
for
potential
the-
series,
for
right?
a series, yeah.
So
We-
tell us about that. So these fools were in it.
Yeah, and that's I went through this whole thing of I had this company, Suspect Entertainment. We were helping gangbanger homies get in the business, and I was their manager, I was their PR, I was their.
Okay, hang on.
Before we get too far into the show, I want to shout out to our friends at extrememusic.com. We wouldn't be doing the show without them. Want to thank them very much for their support. If you're doing a commercial, a series, if you're doing high-level stuff, indie stuff, no-budget stuff, whatever you are doing, if you need music and good compositions for your movies, for your content, go to extrememusic.com. They have thousands and thousands of composers putting music up on there for all types of movies. I just finished another Christmas movie. I used extrememusic.com. I have a bunch of cuts from their website in there, and they're just a joy to use and easy to use. You can create different folders for your different projects. It's just an incredible service with the best music in the world. You have to check it out. extrememusic.com.
So, okay, cool. So Suspect Entertainment, as people were coming out of prison wanting to be actors and all that, was there ever any of them that it didn't work out with that ended up going back?
Oh yeah,
Like they ended up jacking your car or like messing up on the set.
Yeah,
or,
there was people like when we were working with Emilio, one of the actors showered in his trailer one time. I'm like, what are you doing? You know, stealing clothes off the set, writing on the wall. The craft service scene, you know, craft service guy, you SAG, and had some guy some crazy stuff, you know. But so all these things happen. A guy walked off the set with the gun, with the stunt gun, and we didn't have no texting. We're like, where's he at? He wanted to buy dope. You know, he comes back, oh, I was scoring. I'm like, what are you doing? You don't take off with the gun. So all kinds of crazy stuff happened.
He used the gun to go rob,
Like
and he came back with it.
Yeah, well, to go score some dope, but
Yeah.
he took the gun with him
Just in case.
But the thing is that he all these crazy things happen, and then they started like burning me and not wanting to pay. Oh, oh, homie, I needed tires, or child support took my money. Can you take 10% of net instead of gross? You know, and I'm like, well, that's your problem, dude.
That's
like
hilarious.
you gotta do. You know,
But when did you realize, Manny, that like so you're doing extra work? When do you realize that you have a business? Like, when does Suspect Entertainment come to your mind? Are you sitting there on set one day and
they just were calling me. I just knew, well, the whole thing, and it still is about this, was about helping people. That was the first thing.
Yeah.
This helped me and saved me. It helped me get in check. It helped me get disciplined. Then it could do it for other people. So it was about just helping people. I didn't care where anybody was from or what. And I started just kind of like no gang talk, no crazy talk, no disrespecting. Like, hey, this ain't a backyard party.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like we could really do something big. It's all about helping people. And then the business, then people started saying, hey, you should do an LLC, or you should. I'm like, well, I don't know nothing about that stuff, you know. But then
an LLC is a business where you do business under a certain name, right?
Yeah. And a producer, people started mentoring me, you know, and saying, hey, these are the steps. And we did the Ollie G movie. That was where they called a bunch of us to do this big opening of his movie, and that producer William Green, we're friends to this day, and he just mentored me. I mean, you know, like have me at his house, and so many different mentors, Tony Warren, all these different people. Well, my first mentor was this black guy, and the reason why it's important because you come from a Chicano gangster life where, you know, you're not supposed to like black people and all this stuff's poison in your head. And I'm in Hollywood, and my first mentor is this black guy telling me, oh, you're a filmmaker. He saw it in me before I even seen it, and he starts telling me all this stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, and we're still friends to this day. And so, you know, they start believing in you before you don't even believe in yourself, and you learn how to be a dad, a brother, a son. Then my mom died, and all these things in life happen where you're still pushing forward. And then it's like, betrayal again. I started getting betrayal again is what it is, but not from everybody, for some. So then it's like, all these things that were so heartbreaking, so agitating, everything. As I closed Suspect and moved on, I started consulting on Training Day, all these other big movies and shows. And then I was like, you know what? I wasn't satisfied because I'm working with these other directors where you're sharing, man, the details of authenticity, like Goodfellas, the little creases, the slices of the onion. That's how I seen it. I go, that's not done right. And I will tell them, and then at the end of the movie, you watch it, and it's like, oh man, the only way you're gonna do it right is you do it yourself. Mm-hmm. And as I started going to school to write and reflecting on all these stories of my life, but as far as the Suspect series, it was like all these things that were heartbreaking and very annoying were damn funny.
Yeah.
And they started being funny, and then it just flowed. And I'm like, oh, but I think I needed time to heal.
Yeah.
And I needed time to evolve as an artist and as a human, as a person.
Dude, we all have to figure it out. But let me just do the timeline for you again, okay? So you grew up in a tough neighborhood. You lose your dad, you get a stepdad. You get into gang banging and the gang life. You end up almost going to prison, which changes your life, right? And then you go chase down extra work, which is, I think everyone can relate to that. If you want to be in show business, you got to chase down extra work. And you get with Central Casting, which is the #1 casting place in the world.
Yes.
So you start working, and then you start Suspect Entertainment, where you are helping people that are in prison and Latinos and gangbangers, anyone who wants to get into show business. And you start an agency which you work for 15 years with these guys and bring them into show business, bring authenticity to Hollywood.
Yes.
And then eventually you sell that LLC, that company, and you decide that you're going to do your calling, which is be a filmmaker.
Yes.
And now you've done a pilot that is for a series, a pilot example show.
Pilot pitch.
A pilot pitch, sorry.
That's what I've been calling it.
Yeah, a pilot pitch for a potential series based on your life.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's it, man. Yes. That's terrific. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, so what's next? What's the next step?
Editing. You know.
Yeah.
We shot it. I would like. You know. I
Were these guys any good?
Yeah, they were very good. They showed
I had
up
two
on
lines.
time.
I remember them.
No, well, look, I want to give
I can do lines, man.
David Davis props. I mean, you know, one of those things where another actor, I'm going to say his name, but he's like, yeah, you know, I got you, dog. I got you. And then like I think the day before or something, right? He's like, oh, bro, I thought you only need me like 2 hours. I'm like, come on, dude, you're in the business, like, you know. But David, you know, he had auditioned for that role, right? And then he had a different role, with a smaller role. I was like, Dave, can you do it? One is like David texts back fast. He's on it, right? And he's like, oh, you prepare this the role. You're probably gonna do it. And he's like, all right. And then he did it and he killed it. And David is like, dude, I'm here all day. Don't even, like, I didn't have that pressure. He released me from that pressure of like, oh, I got to shoot.
Did you direct?
And all that. I was the director.
You director too.
Yeah.
So direct,
he did
producer?
a good job, dude.
Yeah. Direct, producer. I don't doubt it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I had
lots of years of experience, bro.
Yeah, we're just saying that because we were actually watching him get down.
Yeah. No, and I wanted feedback from you guys.
I didn't see you, but I'm sure. You know, once you stand next to it, like you have for all those years, you get an idea.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
especially as an advisor, like you were an advisor to Training Day and a lot of big movies. And if you think about it, advising is sort of directing, right? Absolutely. You want to do the shit right.
And mentoring and working with actors and gangbangers, that's working with that, directing actors and getting the best. Because my process is this, and what I told Frankie and Carla is that, hey, you know, I'm going to annoy you when we're rehearsing and all that, but when we get to set, I'm going to get out of your way.
Yeah.
And I started letting, so when I started letting them, I started going from advising them, well, who the character is and all that, where they are psychologically and all that. And then they're like, well, what do you know, they were like, well, you're the director. And I go, no, this is our thing. We're collaborating, you know, and because they're a new actor, it's a collaboration. And then I started saying, well, what do you think? What does the character think? Yeah. And I started letting them, I think we should do it. I'm like, go with it. Yeah. And I started getting out of their way, letting them just do it. And then they got all free and loose, and they were like, they knew the character better than me. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
And then I would just do little whispers, and that was it. And
dude, thanks for coming on to inspire everyone who's listening. I mean, I think we all kind of need some inspiration. You all want to, know that no matter where you're at, no matter where you come from, you can make it happen. You know, as long as you think it can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I always say, as long as we're still breathing, you know what I mean? Like,
Well, congratulations on all of the work that you've done for yourself, for your family, on your series pitch, on your pilot pitch. Make sure, hopefully it sells, and we get to see it on TV, on Hulu or something.
We're gonna have a screening no matter what.
Yeah. Oh, good. I want to see it. So hopefully come back after you're all done. Once you sell it, come back and tell us all about it.
Because there's going to be more stuff coming from Manny. I'm going to tell you right now.
I believe it.
Manny, I've told him a long time ago, this is the one that's going to get him in. And then once he's in, well, you're already in, but I'm saying
I know.
That's going to establish you as like a filmmaker, director, and stuff like that.
Level up,
And then,
I believe it.
And then there's going to be other things coming your way.
That's awesome, man. Well, congrats. Thanks for coming back on the show. I know we blew it the first time, but now I think we got a really good one. And again, congrats. Keep dreaming, keep doing your stories, and
thank you guys for having me, and thank you Teddy and David for showing up and killing
it. Hey, next time give me a part, I'll do it.
He's a good actor.
Is the producer gonna come back? Because I was the producer on it.
Yeah,
I'm ready for another. David, you were crafty, right?
No,
he's second AD. He got bumped up.
Second AD. All right,
he got bumped up.
He's the guy that gives Manny TV. I call him TV Manny. He gave TV Manny his shot in the story.
Nice. Well, congrats. We'll see you next time on We'll see you next time on Film Hustlers.
Come on, Robert. It's a little more enthusiasm. Damn. Film Hustlers.
It's that
It's that Season 7.
Got it all in.
Yeah.